Welcome to Meet the Vets. We're here today with Chief Phillips, a wonderful veteran that has served our country in the cause of freedom and come back home to serve Marion County. So thanks for joining me today, Chief Phillips. One of the things we wanted to find out is, will you tell us a little bit about yourself, when you were born and where and how you grew up?
Well, I was born in Noma, Florida. That's Holmes County, and February 9, 1924. Well, my folks were sharecroppers, and my dad, when I finished the 9th grade in 1939, he gave me for a graduation present a mule and a plow, and said he was increasing his operation as a farmer, and that I would be a plowboy for the seeable future, and that I wouldn't be going to high school. Broke my balloon completely, lost all air. So I finally went to see the Navy recruiter at the advice of one of my buddies. And he gave me the papers and I got them filled out, and then my dad wouldn't sign them. He finally agreed to sign it if I would give him $12 a month to help pay for somebody to do the chores that I was supposed to do. So I went off to the Navy. 20 days after I become 17, I was sworn in the Navy in Birmingham, Alabama.
So Chief Phillips, which wars did you serve in?
World War II, Korean War, and the Cold War.
So let's talk a little bit about World War II. What was that like? Where were you stationed?
Basically, I was on a patrol craft that patrolled the East Coast originally, after I finished my boot camp and got my high school diploma. And then they built a brand new destroyer named Luce, which is a picture on the mantle, and they assigned me to that ship.
Now at this time your position is a gunner, right?
Yeah, I was a gunner all along. After I finished gunnery school in Neck, Virginia, I felt so bad when I went in training, and all them guys knew so much more than I did. I felt guilty. But I wanted to show them I could do something that they could do, and better than they could do it. So I took first place in the gunnery on the 20mm cannon. And then after that, I was always assigned to a 20mm cannon. Don't make no difference where I went.
So in World War II, what kind of combat did you see?
Well, I saw all kind of combats. And some of it I'd rather not discuss. And they told us that in order to be successful in battle, you got to make the other guy die first. So I did my utmost.
Did you lose any of the folks in your ship during any of these battles?
On May 4th, 1945, my ship was sunk in battle by Japanese suicide aircraft. 5 of them run into us at the same time and sunk the ship in 3 minutes. And there was 320 aboard that day. And the record shows that we only lost 122, but I know that there was only 84 that survived. But I don't know what happened and who wrote the book. I'm here talking to you today because of the efforts of God. One Marine, Lieutenant Muse, the crew, the captain and the crew of the USS Wiley, and Dr. Simmons. That's the ship that picked me up in his doctor. And the person that told him where I was in the ocean, God was the only one that knew that I was in that place in the ocean. And he's the one that sent Lieutenant Muse low in the water to identify me, because all the search planes that was searching that area and was searching the debris field was flying at 500 feet. That was the rule. But Lieutenant Muse dropped down to about 100 feet and flew over me, and I waved at him. And he come up the starboard side of me, and he rocked his wing. And that's telling me, I know you're not ship's debris, and we got help coming. So he notified the USS Wiley, and the captain and crew of the Wiley come over and picked me up while they were still under attack, they picked me up and lifted me up on deck, and a young lieutenant junior grade Simmons was the ship's doctor. And he pulled all the big shrapnel out of him and stopped the bleeding, and then he gave me a shot. And I didn't know nothing until after midnight when they transferred me to the hospital ship USS Mercy.
When the war ended, where were you?
War ended, I was on Tabuba Island in the Philippines. I had recently got out of the hospital in Guam, and they had sent me to Tabuba to await the arrival of another ship that I would be assigned to that was going for the invasion of Japan. And I was waiting on that island for that ship to come in, and when they dropped the bomb. And of course, it never come in, and then they told us that the war had ended, but I was regular Navy, and I had just been promoted to Chief Petty Officer, and that I would be staying on the island until we disposed of all the American property on the island. So I stayed there almost a year, and we finally got the base closed.
Talk to me a little bit about Korea.
Korea was a piece of cake as far as I was concerned compared to World War II, because the Navy had an important job, but not as important. You didn't have no opposition like you had in World War II. So you could run up and down the coast and shoot up the trains, and if the Army or the Marines wanted us, needed our fire support somewhere, they'd call us, we'd go give it to them.
So as we move into the Cold War time, and really the Navy battle kicks up a little bit more with Russia, right?
The Russians, and we sometimes wouldn't know who done it, but we kept patrol planes up there all the time, the P-2Vs. Our radar planes was in the air 24/7. And the Russians and the Chinese or the North Koreans or whoever it was would come out there occasionally and shoot one down. And we'd be sent out there to pick up the pieces and any survivors that we could find. We never found any survivors, but we'd pick up a few pieces and sometimes find a body or two.
Will you tell us a little bit about how today you've come back and continue to serve at our Veterans Park?
Well, I owe my life to my combat brothers. It don't make no difference whether you was killed in the Revolutionary War or you was killed in Vietnam. You're dead. And those of us that's alive, it's our responsibility to look after the well-being and those who didn't get to come home. They're charging us to take care of their responsibilities of our country. Basically, they're our Constitution, our way of life, our freedom, the whole thing. I mean, if we don't look after their interests, who the hell gonna do it? When a man offers his life for his country and your freedom, I mean, you need to reciprocate some way. So anything that I do today, and I do anything that a veteran wanted. If there's a veteran in need and I know it, I'll come to it. Whatever he needs, he's my combat brother. I don't care where he was in World War I or in the latest conflict in Afghanistan. If he's a veteran and offered his life for his country, he's got my respect, and I'm going to give it to him in full measure.
Well, you have our full respect, and on behalf of the Board of County Commissioners and myself, I want to say thank you. We want to say thank you as Marion County for sharing your story with us today. Yeah. Chief, amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.